Hello, my name is Dan Murphy. I'm the President and CEO of Frugally Innovative Technologies, the providers of Fit for Manufacturing. In this video, I will demonstrate the features of our OEE dashboard. The OEE dashboard helps your entire team identify and measure the problems preventing the equipment from operating so they can fix it, and provides a standardized method of benchmarking their progress. Let's take a look at the structure of our report here. With the OEE dashboard, we have some very quick filters for the time periods that you might normally use of yesterday, this week, last week, this month, last month, and the last 2 months. In addition, we have some grouping options. We have multiple grouping options for looking at the data and doing some comparisons on what the data may show. We'll get into that a little bit later. Our time filter options allow you to go into a specific date and time period, and in this case we'll go to July. And in addition to keying that information in, you're allowed to select it with our calendar object. Here, for instance, we're in March, but I'd like to go back to August 2012. Well, I could go back one click at a time, or I could quickly do a couple of steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm there. Oh, and let's change the time. So let's take a look at the data. As we look at this information, we have the line shift product in our details report here at the top, and then we'll have our charts at the bottom, and I'll explain our charts in a little bit. But let's dive into the details, of course. Starting with our categories and our columns, we have our lines from our first view. We have the performance rate, the net production, quality loss, quality rate, availability rate, OEE, stops, mean time between failure, and mean time to repair. Well, because we group this by line, shift, and product, it allows us to drill in and do the comparison for this line, the shifts that worked on this line, and the products that were made during that shift. And for each one of these details, we provide the performance rate, net production, quality, and all of the other details that go with that. So this allows some drill in to see where there may be an opportunity to focus on a potential area. On top of that, we have the top 5 faults in our charts. So let's look at the top 5 downtime fault counts, which is the number of faults that have occurred during this period, prioritized by the highest. We also have the top 5 downtime reason count, and then we have downtime faults by time. And this tells you the duration, which faults caused the most amount of downtime. As you notice, as I hover over each one of these bars or pie chart segments, it gives me the values or the details associated with that. Well, I can also click into that and pull up the actual details of each fault that has occurred. And here we see the folds report showing the detailed time, start time, the duration, the quantity that may have been created in waste, rejected quantity, and our different types of reason categories. So this is obviously a downtime loss that goes into our availability rate. It's around setup and adjustments, and it's about the major adjustments. So there are some opportunities for major adjustments. And we look here, and there's our reason for major adjustments. Well, let's look at the other major adjustments that may be causing us problems. We see not only do we have folds, we have perforations. Ink mismatch is also occurring here. So we see an opportunity potentially for looking at how to improve our major adjustments. Perhaps this is an improvement team that we want to bring together to look at the processes we're using to make our major adjustments on our line. Well, let's look at it in a different way. Let's grab it by shift. Now, for us, it's very simple. We only have one shift. But looking at the shift, we see the comparisons are a little bit different here. Notice we still have folds, but our reasons are now equipment failure. And the reason for that, it looks like we have board stock damage is causing us our most time. So if we look at the equipment failure problems on this shift, we have some die problems, and we have some breakdowns that are occurring. So that might drive us into looking at where we may have additional opportunity. In addition, we have, as you can see, board stock damage on this shift is causing the most amount of time to be lost in the operations. So this concludes our demonstration. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have other questions, please send us an email at info@FIT4mfg.com or check us out on our website at www.fit4mfg.com.